Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I have a very different sort of video for you today, and it's quite new for me. And that is a craft video. For this one, if you could not tell by the title, it is a tutorial on how to make library book pockets. And this is how they turn out. So if you want to know how to make these, keep watching the video. Alright, so to quickly go through the supplies you will need, or at least the ones that I have used for this project, I used Bristol board paper to make my first template, cardboard to make my second template, and then bulletin board paper to make the final product. So you'll need those. You'll also need double-sided tape to put everything together, scissors, a ruler, a Sharpie, a box cutter, an Exacto knife, and some sort of way to mark for your template. So you'll need all of these things at some point throughout this project as well. So for the first one, you will need Bristol board paper or some sort of paper. I could have used copy paper, but I felt like it was too thin and it might be tricky to cut later on. I also used the back of an index card advertisement thing that comes in the package with index cards to make the template for the insert that goes into the bookmark or the book sleeve, just to make sure everything fits properly. So that is a simple 3-inch by 5-inch piece of paper that could really be on anything, and it's just used for measuring. The first piece will be the back, and we will need to measure that at 5.5 inches. And another 5.5. And this one's a little tricky, but it is 3 6/8. So we'll count the lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It needs to be on this guy here. And we'll slide that down, not losing our mark. And it goes right here. Alright, and that is the back. So for the front, it's a bit different. We're going to have to measure over quite a bit. We'll measure over 10. Actually, we'll do 11 just to be safe. And I'm measuring all the way from this side because this side is horribly crooked. So I will measure 0 to 3.5. And putting it at 11, 0, and 3.5. Okay, and we will move it this way, and we will measure 3.5 once more. So I'm going to put this at 7. 7 down here along the edge. So 0. Actually, we're going to measure it at 4 because we have to do a little something special for it. And 4. For the front, you want to be able to see the library card that's on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure we're going to measure 1/2 inch down for this middle part. And we need to center it as well, which will be 1 and 7, 1.75. So here's the middle, and what we're going to do is we're just going to draw, I'm sorry I keep shifting the paper, but we're going to draw from that line to these these lines here. And we're just going to make that swoop. So this should end up being at 3.5, and that's where we want this. For each side, we need to make these right here so it can wrap around the back. So we need 3/4 of an inch on each side. Nope. What's that? Oh, okay, it was 3/4 of an inch. I went a little fast and got confused. And the reason I'm making these is because I want to put them in all of my books and make my own little library, for one. And then the second reason is that for the books that I will keep for the rest of my life, I want to know how often I read them, because there are several that I read every 2 or 3 years, and I just go through a phase and reread all of them. A book that I read every year is called Flipped. It is the cutest book ever. It's actually a movie as well. And it's just this coming of age story between Bryce and Julie Baker. And it is the absolute cutest thing. And every time I read the book, I have to watch the movie after, because they, surprisingly enough, stick really, really, really close to the original. And for this, I was talking through it, but I'll come back to it. I did 1/2 inch in, because I want these to fold like this. That way it's not so blocky at the bottom of it. So we'll go 1/2 inch, and we'll just draw a line from this line to the corner. And this will all be cut away so that it doesn't get in the way. So, wow, lead. That'll get cut away. And we'll do another 1/2 inch. Another book that is an excellent movie and book is Austenland. And I haven't found a lot of people who actually know what that book is, but it's this girl who is absolutely obsessed with Darcy, Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, that her friend is like, you know what, you got to go to this complete immersion place for this era, and you have to get this out of your system so you can finally grow up. And so she goes to it, and oh my goodness, the stuff she gets into. So this is the front, this is the back, and I will be back after I cut these out. Alright, so we have the front and the back pieces for our book sleeve. Now we need to transfer them to cardboard. And I have this piece of cardboard here, don't mind the 2AA. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace them on and then cut them out. So we're going to cut this here, or trace it and then cut it. Trace it here, trace it here. Alright, so this one's the back. And then this one will be the front. Ah, too much. Don't mind the falling stuff. Alright. Then we have the front. And using this, I'm going to cut these out and I will be right back. All right, here we go. We have the back and the front, and these are templates that will go onto the bulletin paper so that we can trace them and cut those out from there. For the bulletin paper, I'm going to have to pause and come back because I cannot fit this whole thing on my desk. It's 4 feet long, so I will be right back in just a moment. Alright, so we have this paper that is severely folded and doesn't want to unfold, so this is going to be tricky. And what we want to do is cut the front piece this way, and then we're going to cut the back piece this way, just so that we can tell the difference between the two pieces when they come together. And for this, instead of trying to fight it while it wants to roll, I'm going to quickly outline it with my Sharpie. That way I can have a little more control out of this, because it desperately wants to roll back up into a ball. And it's not fun to work with. Alright, so there's the first one. I'm going to leave that on there just to have a little bit of a weight. And then this will be the second one. All right. Now that we have those outlined, we can take our scissors. And I'm just going to cut all this loose stuff off so I don't have to fight with it. And then cut our pieces out as best I can, which is a little hard for me. I apparently cannot cut or draw straight lines even with rulers. So we'll see how this actually turns. Alright, then for the other side, hopefully it doesn't eat it. Oh, well there we go. It didn't get quite all of it, so I'm just gonna finish that off myself. Alright, so this is the back piece. Try and fold it this way so it doesn't want to fold it on itself quite as much, but I'll put this here and then cut out the front piece for it. Be careful to keep that curve, because that is where the two parts will meet. Or not curve, the corner. And if this kind of stuff is what you're interested in and want to see more on my channel, please let me know below, because I've just been doing speed paints, and while those are my absolute favorite things to watch, I'm not really much into the crafting, but they are fun to watch sometimes. I just prefer speed paints. I do feel like I want to branch out just a little bit. I have a sketchbook that I'm thinking of reviewing. I've never done a review before, but I did a poll on Instagram to see if anyone had used this sketchbook before, just because I bought it and I'd never used it and wanted to see anyone else's thoughts that had used it and how it works for everything, but no one had used it. It was 100% no. So I might do a review or a first page or product thoughts on it. I don't know. Alright, so we need our ruler once more to make the lines on the inside so we know where to fold it. So it's that 3/4 in. That way we can fold it properly. Okay, there's one side. But if you do like these kind of things, what other sort of crafts would you want to see? Again, I'm not terribly craftsy, but I feel like this is something I will use for the rest of my life because I have a lot of books and I read a lot, and growing my own library would definitely be something I would be interested in. But what other things would you want to see? Alright, so we have the final side, and stuff is just falling everywhere off my desk. That's okay. No, wait. Why is it that everything that keeps falling is the thing that I need next? Alright, we're going to fold these so that it's easier to assemble them. I'll fold one more. We're almost done. Alright, so we have the front. Try and fold it a little bit so it doesn't fold in on itself quite as much. So we have the front and we have the back. We're going to line them up with the white side facing us. Line them up. Put something heavy there. That way I can put the double-sided tape on here to finish it up. And I'm going to put these more towards the top. Alright, so there's one bit of a longer piece on the bottom. And then this second side. Alright, and we'll take our weight off. And it doesn't really matter if it touches the bottom. What I was worried about is the sides, so I'm leaving just a smidgen of room on each side. Alright, we're going to fold this guy over. Ah, double side tape. I don't need you anymore. Well, for this one. Alright, and then this one here. And we are done. There's our book pocket. So this, pretending to be the library card, will just tuck right in. And that's how it turned out. Comment below if you want to see more stuff like this. Hopefully it wasn't too confusing. This is actually my second time recording it. The first one was like 40 minutes long because I went through every single step with you. But on these, the second one I did like the cooking shows where they already had the finished product as you're drawing the product or cooking the product. So I cheated a little bit in that just to save some time. So, alright, I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you later. Bye!